We will read the names of the U.S. soldiers that have been killed in Iraq. We cannot read the names of the thousands of civilians that have been killed. We cannot read the names of the thousands of soldiers that have been wounded. But in reading these names out loud, in this public place, in remembering these men and women and the reality of their lives and deaths, we wish to honor their lives and pray their spirits, their families and friends find peace. Richard A. Burdick, Todd M. Bates, Aaron T. Reese, Marshall L. Edgerton.
This gets me angry, and that's what was going on here. So now I put up numbers, you know.
Evan Asa Ashcroft, Hector R. Perez, Raheen Tyson Hyder, Jonathan M. Cheatham, Trace W. Dossett, Michael C. Anderson, Todd E. Nunez, Sean R. Mitchell, Doyle M. Huffstedler, Dustin M. Secula.
I want a visual reference, you know. I want something that I can see what 600 people might be like if they all stood in the field. One woman said that every time she drives by, she says the number out loud.
William J. Wiskowich, Brandon L. Davis, Cleston C. Rainey, Michael G. Carr Jr., Sean R. Mitchell, Christopher J. Holland, Glenn R. Allison, Charles E. Bush Jr.
I'm not very political. I don't like getting in those conversations. I think it's great that we're recognizing our soldiers. I have a sister who just got back from Iraq. The stories she came back with are so different than what you're hearing in the media. She's been in the Army for 30 years and has a medical history that thick, and at age 50 they called her in over to Iraq.
Assistant Secretary of Defense, and he was asked by the press how many casualties there were, and he reported something like 500 something, and he was 200 off.
And that's why the numbers are out there, you know, to make people realize. Everything's so complacent nowadays, you know, everybody goes along with their lives and everything else, and they don't think about what's happening around us. We're putting them in, you could hear a pin drop. There's not a lot of talking, there's not a lot of political rhetoric, there's not a lot of anything, there's just a lot of thought.
And I've had people come by here that have been pro-war and people anti-war, and they both interpret it in their own way.
A gentleman stopped, and he had just got back from Iraq. He had spent his tour over in Iraq. He'd been there over a year, and he lost 4 of his friends. And he stopped and asked if he could put 4 flags in the ground for him. So it was my pleasure, of course, to allow him to do that. These boys are just doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's it. That's why it gives me the right to put these flags out here, because of what they're doing.
Robert B. Jenkins, Ronald A. Ginthner, Andrew L. Twazin, Joe E. Tipton, Kyle A. Brinley.
The most difficult part about having this display is going out and changing the numbers every day.
Todd E. Nunez.
You realize there's a grieving family somewhere for every flag I put in the ground. And that's the hardest part.
Do you think the Pentagon would keep track of how many casualties we have, you know, but this is partly for Paul Wolfowitz, so he knows how many people have died out there.
Just realize what's going on, you know, that's all you have to do.
So we need to know what we're paying for this war besides the money. What is it really costing us? It's a lot of people.
So we drove by, and she just was
Joseph II.
To her, it was,
Marcus O.
I don't know how to explain it. She just
Joseph
lit right up. It's like, oh, there are people that really care.
This is what we're paying for this war. Is it worth it? Do people really think that this is worth it?
Troy Leon Miranda. Leslie D. Jackson. Rudy Salas. Andrew J. Zabierek. Robert C. Jeremy R. Jr. Jorge Marcus A. Molina Johnson. Jeremy L. Woodland Lee. Owen D. Witt. Todd J. Bolding. Bo Bolio. Christopher M. Duffy. Alan Frank B. Harville Jr. Justin L. Michael Vernon LaLouche. Justin W. Linden, Ryan Daniel McGinnis, Eric S. McCrae, Aaron Joseph Contreras, Ryan E. Doltz, William Andrew Jeffries, F. Timoteo, Patrick Random Jacob, Melissa J. Hobart.
Stop and think about what's going on. Right or wrong, you don't have to have a political interest or a political belief in any of it. Just realize what's going on. That's all you have to do.
Michael Francis Peterson, Melissa J. Hobart, Anthony Scott Miller, Jesus Martin Antonio Medellin, Henry Levon Brown, Terry Wayne Hemingway,